So my mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And today, we are going to be so informative. Like, y'all are about to attend the best friggin' college course on streaming dramas you've ever experienced in your life. That's right! We're doing an episode on, as of the end of June 2021, where you can go to legally watch dramas, and Asian dramas specifically, and what the benefits are of each, and what we like, and everything. And not only that, if you go on our website, there will be infographics with all of this information as well. Like, listen.
We are professors here today.
Welcome.
We're helping you guys out.
This
Drama Streaming 101.
Yeah, this isn't just like Noonas 101 stuff.
We researched. We did hard research for this. We have done the work, so you do not have to do the work. All you need to do is passively sit here.
Now, we will say this comes from a North American perspective.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We only have access to so much information as far as like in another country, if you can see something or not. We can only see what we can see. So
Yeah. There's only so much. So we have like Canadian and US. That's where we live. That's what we're getting. Like, but you know,
So,
with a VPN, you can travel the world.
like for instance, the other day I saw a webtoon thing for Spanish translated webtoons. Of course, that's not something I had searched for before because that's not my language I speak. But like, so sometimes there's stuff out there that we're not going to see because we don't speak that language. So there's stuff out there too, in addition to these things.
Yeah, and I think it's important to like, it's always changing. There's always more of these streaming services popping up too. It's going to be outdated really fast information.
Yeah.
But like, I think important information, especially for drama newbies, at least what we kind of like seen from drama newbies when like we're trying to figure out this like air quotes educational series we've got going on, like what drama newbies are asking and what like would be a good thing to focus on so that they don't have to like do all the research themselves.
Because that does seem to be a question that comes up a lot. If I've only got so much streaming service money to spend, where should I spend it? And I mean, this is not designed to tell you which ones you should spend your money on because it's going to be different for every person based on what you want. But maybe this will help give you the information you need in order to make the best decision for you and your wallet.
Holding your hand and then leading you to a certain point, and then like good mother letting you go.
Becoming in your baby bird.
Push you out of the nest.
Pushing you out of the nest and saying, fly, bitch.
All
Pick
of
your
your
own
grade
service.
school years, and now it's time for college, and you've left our nest and
If you-
gone off on your own.
And if you found this podcast in 2022, sorry, probably half of it's fake news now. But like, sorry.
There will be some things that are still valid, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Other things will be different.
Price points might change, but some of these might disappear. You never know. Like, you just never know these days. But
maybe the market inflation will finally hit drama services, and then there'll be more inflation there too.
Yeah, who knows?
But there was COVID, therefore everything's more expensive. That's what everything says.
Pretty much. So for those more academically minded, our syllabus for the day, okay? We are going to talk about what we personally use and what's important for us individually as our priorities in streaming services. We are then going to go over the most frequently used sites for dramas. We are then going to go over other sites that are primarily Asian dramas. We will then go onto dramas, or sites that have limited dramas but other content. And then finally, up-and-coming sites that look like they might be interesting in the future. We are then going to discuss the interconnectedness of a few sites, and then we're going to have a little moment, a special moment at the end. So watch out for that. It'll pull at your heartstrings if you're an old hat like we are. Let us take it away. Let's start with Amanda. What do you personally use for your drama services primarily?
Probably mostly Netflix, Viki, and YouTube. They're just simple and easy. I have a Netflix membership because I've got a family and there's something for everybody to watch on there. So for us, you know, where to put our streaming money is into things that benefit everybody, right? So I do have a Viki membership too, but that's, you know, is what it is. You know, I get to have things for myself too, but I'm not going to have like, I currently don't have memberships. I don't have a YouTube membership currently. So I generally put up with the commercials, and the Roku is annoying for signing in. So I, even though I have a Viki membership, I often watch without and put up with the annoying commercials until they annoy me so much that I go through all the
through the multi-step process to sign into your Roku on Viki. Yes.
Oh, it's the worst. Those are my main ones. After doing some research for this, I think I might be spending more time at Mango TV because they have upped their apps.
All right. Let's not give it away. Let's not give it away.
Spoilers.
So there's, yeah, like I discovered a few things about apps that I had previously discarded that I'm like, oh, maybe they deserve a second look. So we'll see. If you ask me again next year, maybe not the same, but now.
But so for you, aside from the family thing, why do you choose those things? So like YouTube for Thai, I assume.
YouTube for Thai and Chinese generally because they're there and they're legal and they're, you know, free. So why not? I've got a Google Nest Hub in my kitchen, and when you use that, like, you don't have to watch the commercials on YouTube most of the time. So I might as well watch it there. Viki for the content, you know, when I've got my membership, you know, for the Korean content there mostly. Although on my TV with the Roku that I don't bother signing into, I watch a lot of Japanese there, like, because the Japanese stuff is available without my membership.
That's true.
And then Netflix is mostly K-dramas that I watch on Netflix. So there's other stuff available for sure, but sometimes Thai, because some of the Thai stuff that I'd like to watch is not subbed on YouTube. It's on YouTube, but not subbed, or it doesn't show up on YouTube at all. But even though the company has a channel on YouTube, you're like,
they tantalize
right there,
they tantalize us with the previews for it, and then never actually put the shows up. Just to, like, mock us a little.
You know, 3-minute teasers. A lot of the Chinese channels do that too, right? They'll do those like little 3-minute like subbed teasers, and then be like, "Well, bet you wish you were Chinese." And you're like,
shame, isn't it that you can't access this?
How about you, Jessie?
So for me, my top 3 are definitely Netflix, Viki, and Kocowa. Netflix is just easier, especially right now. They've been tending to get the like dramas that I like, especially with their partnerships. Because I'm the OCN, TVN, a little bit grittier shows, which like tend to be greater for international audiences, and I think that's what like Netflix is trying to like kind of pick up on to get like new members from their site. And then secondary is Viki because of some of those OCN things, because they do tend to be the one to kind of get it if Netflix doesn't have it. But also like Viki has a little bit more, and then they have a little bit more like in the J-dramas category. So sometimes I can pick up a J-drama and that's fine. And then with Kocowa, I actually didn't think I was using it as much as I was. Like sometime last year, I was like, okay, no, I'm going to cut off Kocowa and not spend the money. And then I realized I use Kocowa a lot. And so I actually like ended up like joining back on because I missed it. Specifically with Kocowa, besides some of the other like features that I'm sure we'll talk about later, their variety section is the best. And if you're a variety show watcher, it is the best for that. So I tend to kind of gravitate to that. Or also if I want to pick up older dramas, it's nice to have their stock.
So for me, Natalia here, I'm a bit of a streaming service hoe. So because of the way that my household's finances are set up, that's what I'm in charge of paying for. It's the streaming services. So as long as I can make the money to pay for them, I can have as many as I want. So at the moment, I have currently Netflix, YouTube, Viki, Kocowa, iQIYI, and WETV. And I occasionally have Crunchyroll. I'll get that on a month-by-month basis, like when I'm feeling in a real anime mood, you know? Like sometimes I'm just like, ooh, I really wish I could watch like 90 episodes of One Piece today. And so I'm just like, I'll pay the $8, you know? Like, it's like a rental fee. Like I'm renting a DVD for a month, you know? I would say, like, primarily, I use Netflix and Kocowa. Because Kocowa, as I said, for, like, the variety stuff. And Netflix is just, you know, there's so much. And my whole family leeches off my account. So it's all, literally, they all do. They all made their own profiles, and I'm like, who are you people? Like, anyway, I've gotten into WeTV, though, as probably will be mentioned, there is a bit of an issue with one, the app is very hard to navigate, and the content is wildly varying. So you often have to use technological means to place yourself in new locations, shall we say. And then, like, for Viki, I watch a lot of Viki because, you know, they got a bunch, not all, but they have a larger selection of J-dramas than most other sites do. And I spend more time on YouTube than is probably healthy for a human being.
See, I do YouTube, but I don't like necessarily for Asian content. It's like for everything else.
It's for everything. Like, it has all, you know, like, it has like the GMMTV stuff, which is great. And then it has all my just Minecraft videos, just endless Minecraft videos. So, you know, it's got a little bit for everyone. Oh, and I also use Line TV a lot, but that one is free, so. And we'll get into that later. But yeah, so that's basically, those are what I get up to. And like, for what's my priorities is like, I like a variety because I like watching a lot of different types of shows, which is probably why I have so many different streaming services, because I can always find something that I feel like watching. That's my, you know, sometimes you're not in the mood for this type of, you want to, you know, you're in the mood for, you know, something else. Yeah, what about you, Sky?
I'm pretty similar to Jesse. So Netflix had Netflix forever, way before I was into Asian dramas. That's actually how I got into Asian dramas, was Netflix. So Netflix. When I started getting into Asian dramas and when I got more into them, they didn't have as many, but now they've upped their catalog a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
To where Viki, for me, aside from the occasional J-drama, I wish I could quit Viki. I really wish I could, but I can't.
I know.
They've got us. No.
It's what happens is there will be a big popular K-drama and it won't end up on Netflix, it'll end up on Viki.
Yeah.
So or it'll be one of my K-pop boys in a drama and it's only on Viki. So like I've just given up the fact that I usually can't quit Viki.
You try and it sucks you back in.
Yeah. Because for me, I also have a Kocowa membership. So that's why for me, for a lot of general things, I would prefer to use Kocowa because of the subs are quicker.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you do look at even the K-drama catalog between Viki and Kocowa, Kocowa kind of does like Weekenders and some older things and web dramas and stuff, which is all good things, but Viki kind of has a little bit more variety, kind of. So anyway, and I do watch some variety shows and K-pop stuff. So Kocowa is really, really good for that. That's why I wish I could quit Viki. I would love to just have Kocowa and call it good.
I knew how to quit you, Viki.
Because anyway, the relationship with that we'll talk about later. But yeah, iQIYI, is that how we say it?
iQIYI.
iQIYI. I have had that membership. I had it longer than I knew I had it. I thought I canceled it for a while.
A classic caper.
Because pretty much what got me there, I was watching, I don't even remember what specific show I was watching, a specific, I think K-drama, it might have been C-drama. And it was done, or I kind of lost interest in it or something to where I was like, well, catalog wise, it wasn't having anything I needed to continue watching. Guess what? Now that I've quit the membership,
yeah, they've got so much more stuff. It's how they get you. It's how they get you.
So
They've been
and
gaining speed.
And the way we'll talk about them later too, but the way they lock things, it actually becomes a thing. So
yeah.
I do have a YouTube membership. I do not use YouTube a lot for dramas. Every once in a blue moon, friends, or a random K-drama. Every once in a while, you'll find a random K-drama legally on YouTube or Korean movie. So like Pirates is on YouTube. Don't know why, but it's there. So
Beauty Inside is also there too. Yeah, there's a couple.
a
So
lot of older stuff too. Like there's the Korean classic channel put out by like I think the Korean government or something, and there's like old stuff on there. So
I don't spend a lot of time with that, but occasionally when it just kind of hits me, sometimes I find stuff there. So those are the ones that I have like subscriptions and stuff to. I typically don't just peruse a subscription site to see what they have to offer. I don't do that very often. I usually go onto a site with a specific show in mind that I'm looking for. Yeah. So that being the case, sometimes I am looking for who has this show. So I end up on other platforms. Luckily, they're usually free ones that I just have to put up with ads or something. Yeah. So I end up on other platforms. So I might have like accounts on them, but I don't have memberships anywhere else. And it's usually for a one-off. Well, I couldn't find this anywhere else, therefore I watch it here. So I've been around the block, or definitely Korean movies. They're kind of scattered lots of places too. So I go here and there for things. I don't just stick to like Netflix or something.
So was all of our first drama sites Netflix or no?
Yeah. Was for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
And it was like,
but it's still happening today. So
the gateway drug.
It is
I remember
gateway.
talking to somebody like in the chat on a like online game that I played, and we realized we were both watching Korean dramas, and I said something about, she's like, what have you watched? And I was listing off sort of the older stuff that was available on Netflix, and she was like, didn't you say your sister watches dramas? And it was like, yeah. And she's like, then why didn't she tell you to get Dramafever and Viki? Like, what is wrong? Like, why are you
she's been holding back on you.
And my sister was like, when I said something to her, she was like, I'm pretty sure I told you about them. You just weren't listening. I'm like, okay, well, I'm listening now.
So now I believe we are going to go through the 5 major platforms, all of which we previously mentioned, and talk about their specs and benefits and all that. And I believe we are going to start with Viki. Amanda, take it away.
So, Viki, it's mostly, I'm going to say mainly K-dramas. There is a lot of other stuff, but mostly what people go there for is the K-drama content initially anyway. They've been getting a lot more Chinese and Taiwanese stuff. Been getting a lot of more Thai stuff, but not enough that they've bothered adding a tab to their, website and their apps and stuff. So when finding the Thai content on there is a bit of you have to know what you're looking for. It won't just come to you. But yeah, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Taiwanese, Thai, they produce some of their own shows or help, semi-produce some of their own stuff, which is good. Their website's available in like 8 different languages, so it's pretty accessible. I'm not entirely certain exactly which countries it's available to. I know it's available to basically all of the Americas. So North and South America is its primary audience, and then it's available spotty available elsewhere. So if you're in the North Americas, probably almost 100% of the content on the website is going to be available to you, assuming memberships and whatever else. If you're elsewhere, I think the one Tumblr blogger that I saw who had gone through with a VPN to find out what dramas or what percentage of the dramas were available everywhere. She said, if you're in South Korea, you can legally like download Viki, get yourself a membership and everything. There was one drama that you were allowed to watch. Like, it was like one Korean drama you could watch if you were
so inclined.
Yeah,
so region locks are a thing that definitely happen on Viki.
Yes,
For sure.
definitely. And it's can be very frustrating because sometimes it's inexplicable. It doesn't usually happen for any of us because, like I said, it is pre-catered to North America. So most of what we're going to want to watch is going to be available to us. But when you're hanging out on Twitter and somebody will go, "Oh, where are you watching that?" And you're like, "Viki," and they're like, "Oh, okay." Like
Womp womp.
they're like, "Oh, can't you get Viki?" And they're like, "Yeah, I've got Viki. It's got like, 6 dramas available to me. Everything else." And they're not good about showing you, like, there's not a way to like a tab to click or something so that it'll only show you stuff that's available in your region.
Yeah.
So you have to like go in, click on it, try to watch it, and then get told, "No, this isn't available to you." So
It's happened to me before.
and I
Usually
find
on movies.
it's similar on the Roku when you don't have a membership. Like if you go into the apps on your phone and stuff, it'll say very clearly standard pass, free to watch, plus pass, right? Like right under the title. So you know which ones you can click and which ones you can't, kind of thing. On the Roku, none of that information is available until you're actually clicked through to,
The show.
you have to click and click again, and then there's the show, and oh, I can't watch this. Great. Out I go. Like, so it's a little annoying that way.
I do think that a lot of some of that stuff is also left over from how Viki used to run its site, because Viki used to be like really fan run, and like you would essentially have shows and people would campaign to do the subs for it, and it wasn't like really a
Do they still
maybe
do
legal
that?
thing. I don't think so, because I don't think it was ever legal or anything that they were doing. But so like you would have like a person like have a fan page for a show, then to get the subbing team for it, and then do all that stuff. And I think that like some of like just the not top priority of their tech is cleaning that out, and or the way that they like hold on to the pages of older shows that maybe they've their licenses have expired, because sometimes they come back, and I think it's just like so it's an easier
so they
transition.
don't have to recode it in.
Yeah, so sometimes it might tell you that this isn't available in your region, and it's not available in anybody's region because Viki doesn't have any rights to it anymore at all. But like, they're hopeful that maybe someday they will again, so they just leave it there. I don't know. As far as what languages their subbing is available in, English for sure, Spanish, Portuguese. It's hard to find exact numbers on how many languages are available, because if you go into any given show, probably what you're looking at is 25 to 30 available options, including things like Finnish and French and Hindi. There's a lot of options. But Viki says that their subs are available in over 160 different languages. But I think that has more to do with the fact that a couple years ago they tried to introduce like a bot translator, which didn't go over really well with the subbers.
No.
But I mean, when you have a bot translating, you could pick any language, right? Google Translate can give you anything you want. Is it going to be good? No, but it'll be there. So
it'll be a direct word-for-word translation, which is often indecipherable.
What it heard.
Yeah. So
if there's background noise, you're
so
screwed.
Basically, what I would say is, if you're thinking, oh, well, like, you'd probably be guaranteed like Spanish for sure, and English. Anything else, give it a shot. Go have a check. I mean, their website translates into German, English, Spanish, French, Italian, Korean, Portuguese, Japanese, and Chinese.
And I think like a lot of it is because they can't find subtitlers, because as we often say on this show, Viki doesn't pay for subtitles. So
yes.
We're not joking. They literally don't.
They literally do not.
I mean, maybe they give them some like swag, like tote bags or something, and free passes,
or a free membership.
Yeah.
Like that
Free
would be the
memberships,
extent of it.
From what
That's
I
actually
understand,
not being paid.
free membership only comes after you've put in something like 1,000 hours of subtitles or something.
Censorship isn't that like
the point.
high.
Like,
So
and thus why I want to quit it if we could.
I know. If only. If only.
Basically, there's 3 levels of membership. So you can have a basic membership, which is unpaid, but at least if you're signed in, it'll keep track of what you were watching. Probably, mostly, sometimes it's
and you
not
don't even have to be. You can watch things without being signed in.
Exactly. You can watch stuff without being signed in, but like, it's not gonna. The app's not necessarily gonna keep track of what
It's not gonna remember you.
If you're signed in everywhere, then theoretically the different apps will talk to each other and keep track of, you were watching it on your tablet and then you went to watch it on TV, and it'll pick up where you left off. Sometimes. It's not real consistent. Viki tends to get buggy sometimes. So most of the Japanese stuff you can watch for free. A lot of the Chinese stuff, not all of it, but a fair bit of it. A few Korean things. Most of the Thai stuff you can watch for free.
So that brings us to, is it the Viki Plus Pass that includes the Kocowa content that's on Viki? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Plus Pass. So the base pass, there's the standard pass. Standard pass gives you access to everything that's not Kocowa content. And then the Plus Pass adds the Kocowa content. Not all the Kocowa content. It's not everything.
Not the subtitles.
Not the subtitles. Yeah.
Except for sometimes. Occasionally.
The ones that slip through.
You know what? I'm like proud of Kocowa. They're like, no, we paid our subs to do that. We're not gonna let you free leech off of us like you do everybody else.
Exactly. It's so weird because the Kocowa, like the Plus Pass, is so much more expensive than the regular pass, and you still have to wait for your subs. And
what is the price tag on it?
So, I mean, okay, these are Canadian prices. I'm sorry, I didn't
No, it's fine.
Play around, but the regular pass is $66 a year Canadian. The Plus Pass is $135 Canadian a year. So it's about double, basically. And something worth noting also with Viki is that usually around the end of the year, sort of American Thanksgiving, New Year's kind of thing, they tend to have a sale, and you can often get like the standard pass anyway for sale. Sometimes the Plus Pass goes on sale, but not very frequently. So
in US dollars, Viki standard pass is $4.99 per month.
Now, the standard pass also includes some of the movies. Like, it used to be all the movies that they had, but they've also recently added rentals. So you can rent the newer movies and stuff for like $5 a movie or something.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
No. It is.
Because if we wanted that, we would go elsewhere that has that type of thing.
Yeah.
For cheaper.
For like $3.
And with membership, you get HD quality. You can't not have HD quality. They don't have an option for you to turn it off when you have a membership. You have a membership, so you have HD quality now. So if you've got slower internet, that I used to have really slow internet and the HD, like the pass, and I would literally log out sometimes and watch with the commercials because it was the only way I could watch it in a lower quality and like have it stream properly. So you don't have options as far as that goes. And you can cast with Chromecast. So that's a nice feature if you don't want to mess around with your Roku. You can just cast it. Oh, one of the downsides as well, you can't screen cap. You cannot. You'll get a pretty little blank black square with the subtitles across the bottom. So
it depends on your device. I screen cap fine.
Yeah,
you can screen cap. Yeah, so they're cutting more and more. It used to be you just couldn't screen cap the Kocowa content, but you could other stuff, and now other stuff is getting blocked too. If you're on the computer, you can probably like
Yeah, and that's how I usually watch it. So that's
yeah, so if you're watching on your laptop or your desktop, you can still screen cap, but the apps are increasingly blocking that ability. So if that's a very important ability to then, watch on your laptop. But other than that, yeah, it's available pretty much every platform like Roku and tablets and phones and computers.
Viki has also recently added a watch party function, but it's only on limited shows. It actually works really well, except I will say, this is a little amusing aside that I have a watch party watching Doom at Your Service right now every Wednesday. It will censor swear words in the private chat, which we didn't realize until it was me. I swore first. And it just came up as asterisks. So that of course it became a game of
I'm sure that it started.
Oh no, it was like that. It was just like, all right, which words are censored?
Two other things that's special about Viki that may be of interest to people is first, it has timed comments on all their content, so you can have the comments going on while you're watching it. I had tried it once and never will return again, but I know people like it. I don't know how you do, but I'm not
if you do
really gonna judge you, but it's there. It's as bad as you kind of think it is. If you went to a Reddit watch thread, what are you expecting?
It's kind of like one thing being in a watch party later or something.
It's it's one thing if you're watching it with friends and you're all making comments together because it's a conversation.
These are internet strangers, some of them very young. And then the second one, I haven't heard a lot, so they might have started to discontinue it, although I still see it pop up on some titles. So they might have just discontinued it and never bothered to take it off of things. They started a learning feature where you could learn the language of the show. And so it was a special subtitle. So you could hover over a word and it will teach you how to do it. It was a lot on the Japanese content. It's still around. I see it pop up every once in a while, but I haven't actively heard Viki talk about it.
So is that Viki?
That's pretty much in a nutshell.
So Kocowa is the next one we're going to talk about. We've covered some stuff. I'm going to go read back over it. So as we said earlier, Kocowa, and just so you know, it sticks to Korean. It doesn't have any other countries that I could see.
No,
it's just Korean content. So K-dramas, and like I said, the emphasis seems to be kind of weekenders, and they do have some rom-coms and stuff, but a lot of weekenders, web dramas. They also have even some documentaries, award shows. They kind of have just a melting pot of a lot of interesting things. It just doesn't cover quite the bandwidth that Viki does. But the variety show tab, they have a lot of the variety shows that you're not going to find elsewhere, and a lot of K-pop shows and stuff like that. So that is often what would lead someone to Kocowa. As far as the languages that I saw subtitled, I didn't find a list. I just had to click around to try to find. I don't think, because of the way they do pay their subbers, they're much more limited on on what I saw for their. On the English website, I only saw English and then sometimes Spanish and Portuguese. And those would vary because, for instance, I pulled up Running Man Classics and it only had English and Portuguese. I was intrigued that it didn't have Spanish on there yet. So that's that. Subtitles do come out very quick, usually within a day or so, if not quicker. Sometimes it's a little faster even. There have been times it's really surprised me how fast. If you're just wanting to see the show without subtitles, the moment, they're pretty good at uploading pretty quick. Yeah. As far as without the subtitles, they do upload it without them first. It does seem like the language subtitles are limited, at least on the English Kocowa site. Let's talk about pricing with Kocowa. They have 3 membership levels. The first is daily for 99 cents. It is not automatically renewed. You have access for 24 hours when you do that. Monthly, which is $6.99 per month. You get a 14-day free trial with that. So you can try it and discontinue if you wished before they charge you. And that does automatically renew. The annual membership is $69.99 per year. And they say that there is a 2-month discount. So the way you calculate that, it's a little less than if you did the monthly costs. And then anyone that's logged in, any member has access to Taste 24-hour, which is when the videos get uploaded. And for 24 hours since then, anyone who is a member, so I would think it would have to be a daily or a monthly member or an annual member, is able to see, I guess I need to research the Taste 24-hour. I wrote down exactly what they wrote. But now I'm
like when I used to use it, because, like I was cheap and that was, I'd be signed in. Like I have an account with Kocowa, even though I don't pay for anything. So I sign in with my email address or whatever. And then, watch for the new episodes to get uploaded, and fingers crossed it's fully subbed before the 24 hours is up. And then I can sneak in there at midnight or whatever and watch what I want to watch and try to stay current enough that I don't have to pay the 99 cents to get caught up. But, now I have a, plus pass at Viki, so I don't chase the subs at Kocowa so much anymore.
So the regions that are offered for Kocowa are North and South America. So that includes US, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Puerto Rico, and more. The platforms that you can watch Kocowa on, you can watch on your browser, Roku TV, Chromecast, AirPlay, Apple and Android apps for phones and devices. As far as I can see, there isn't any downloading. There's not even an HD difference that I can tell. It looks pretty basic. The playback looks fairly basic.
Last time I tried with the Roku, not having a membership, like a paid membership, I couldn't access the Roku.
No, you can't.
Correct.
You
Can't
have to
access
be
anything
signed in.
without a paid membership. So
I very recently tried that too, and it didn't work. They also have live beta for certain shows, definitely not very many. Then that is also, you have to have a subscription in order to watch that. Sometimes it's K-pop music shows, sometimes it's Running Man. That's a thing they've been trying for 6 months to a year. It's been around for a little bit. Yeah, so I think Kocowa is a good solid service. It's a good website. It's pretty limited as far as the scope is North and South America, and you're only looking at 1 max of 3 subtitle languages. So
well, it's to be noted that this is only for 3 major networks. So KBS, SBS, and NBC. You're not going to find anything else outside of those companies.
Yeah,
it's a joint effort between the.
So if you're a TVN stan or an OCN stan, this is not for you.
may not give you what you're looking for. So next, I believe we have Netflix, the big daddy of streaming services.
The one everybody knows and loves, but probably doesn't know exactly what you can do on it. So Netflix, they have movies and dramas. Primarily, they do have a couple documentaries. However, most of the documentaries aren't made by Asian creators. It's kind of like BBC or that sort of thing. And they do have some variety shows. They're very few and far between. And the one caveat on that is that Netflix will never pay rights for music. So don't expect much unless they actually own the variety show, aka Buster. It's not worth it to watch it on Netflix.
It's true.
Just saying, if it's your only option, it's your only option. But you'll be watching Men on a Mission, and EXO will be performing
dancing
to not
to their
their
new
song.
Yeah. Some Gennaro tech music.
Yes.
I always forget. until it happens.
Yep. So they do have a bunch of stuff. It's just, kind of limited in some of the areas. Their catalog includes obviously everywhere because it's Netflix, but I don't think people realize how everywhere that is, just because we don't have that many hours on the time of the day to watch as much as we want. We only kind of stick to a small offering of what is in Asia, and you can find dramas from literally every country in Asia. And I'm talking, you got your
Laos.
standard Korean, you got like your standard Japanese, but you can do Filipino, Arabian, like
Bhutan,
Indian,
Laos.
like anywhere.
There's a lot of Turkish on there lately.
Also, something that like Netflix does is they will upload new and old content, and that new content, depending upon if it's like produced by Netflix or however they get the rights to it, the content could be airing, and so it could be a weekly upload, or it could drop all at once. I remember back when Something in the Rain came out, Netflix didn't get the rights until after it, and it became a lump sum immediately after it aired. So there's that, but they also do stuff like they'll upload something from 2014 as well. And this is not exclusive to Korean content. I've seen the Filipino like soap dramas be airing weekly, and some Chinese stuff, Taiwanese stuff, I like anywhere. So like
even American stuff, like Riverdale aired weekly on Netflix. Why do I know this?
Yes. So like it's the like greatest amount of different types of like stuff you can find on a streaming site. And because of that, the language selection is really, really great. This all varies on where you are located too, because your region dictates the laws that had to be done to get the certain title, and like what they had to pay. In some places pay differently than others. So like not all of Netflix content is the same for everywhere. So for languages, all the major languages that you can kind of like guarantee will be there is English, Spanish, French, Chinese, and the original show's language. Busted was in like, I think 14 different countries, languages. Also, a lot of the content will be in closed captioning subtitles, along with the regular subtitles. While they're not as inclusive as they should be, they are more inclusive than most offerings. So pricing, there are 3 different options. Netflix only does monthly pricing. They don't do any sort of yearly pricing. So first you have the basic, which is $8.99. That means that you can only have one screen watching something at a time. It means that you can only have one device downloading something at a time as well. The standard is $13.99, which ups it to 2 screens, 2 downloads. And then the premium, which is $17.99, which is a 4-screen, 4 download. So it's like the family pass. While you can still have like a lot of profiles on your Netflix account, those pertain to when you're both watching at the same time. So just keep that in mind. It is available everywhere. Obviously, I said the catalog changes. Netflix is available everywhere except China, Crimea, North Korea, and Syria. So as long as you're not in those countries, you can access Netflix. Netflix is also everywhere in like your viewing. You can watch it on the website, phone app, all of the streaming media players, and devices, and like both the like smart TVs and the like casting devices like Roku, Apple TV, that sort of thing. For like tech specs, obviously I just talked about the offline download available, which is like the best feature, especially if you travel a lot, or if you are like in places where you want to watch something but you don't want to be using your mobile data for it. So it just allows you to download it and then watch it, like say when you're up in the air flying. They have HD options, but they're only offered for the standard and premium plans, which is the 2 highest plans. And like additionally, the highest plan will have Ultra HD. So
the super HD.
Yeah, I know it's probably for like the 4K, players and that sort of thing. So I know that a lot of people already know a lot about Netflix and have like already, if you're watching Asian dramas, you're watching it basically there. So you don't need much of a guidance on that. They do have a lot of relationships with a lot of production studios and companies such as Studio Dragon. A lot of their stuff goes on to Netflix, JTBC's partnership with them. And then just this year, Netflix announced a multi-million-dollar investment plan explosion for Korea, and Korean produced content for their site. They built a bigger complex in Korea for Netflix stuff, and they're putting more money into producing like Korean stuff. So that's where Netflix is getting bigger now in terms of like Asian, and I'm sure it's gonna continue on to like all the other places it can.
And I'm not sure if this is the same in the States, but in Canada, and I've checked it on all of my family's profiles, so it's the same on all of them. When you go into the TV section and you click like genres, they'll have just the big, just like not the very specific genres that Netflix does, but like the big ones. And K-dramas is one of the big drama sections that they have listed under.
Yeah, and they've had that specific sub genre section for K-dramas for at least 2 or 3 years now. So that should tell you. So
even if you've never watched a K-drama on Netflix, they're easy to find. They want you to find them.
Other countries not so much, but they're getting a little bit better, and their suggestions will always include Asian offerings. It really is the best for everything, but I would say variety shows. But if it's your only option to watch something like Men on a Mission, then it's your only option. So at that respect, it's fine.
I just met somebody yesterday that she loves all types of Asian dramas, and she only watches on Netflix. That's the only platform she has. But she's like, all of her coworkers are pretty much like, any Asian show, she's on it, and Netflix is her thing.
There's so much options.
Yeah, right now, I think the majority of people who started watching during the pandemic watched because of Crash Landing on You. I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah, because they really pushed that advertising.
It's definitely the one that's been getting a lot of things. But again, I think a lot of people don't realize because there's the specific genre subcategory drop down menu for K-dramas, that there's an extensive catalog for the other countries, and you should definitely move into looking at those.
Definitely check out the international tag in movies and stuff. There's so much good stuff there.
And they've been getting, I don't know how, this will change in the future, but they have been getting major Korean blockbusters. Now, I say that because they got them because of the pandemic. So, that could change. Yeah. However, it might not. They might see that they're getting more money based on their numbers and stuff, and they might just transition into doing a lot more kind of blockbusters that would be airing, being on big screens. Internationally, it's on Netflix's.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, because a lot of that stuff is never going to come to a big screen near us. It just isn't. My big Cineplex is not going to, quotation marks, waste one of its 12 screens on, even, it doesn't matter how big of a blockbuster it is or how many seats they could definitely sell to something like Space Sweepers, but they're just not going to try. No, it's unless it's, Parasite and it won an Oscar. And even then it's probably going to come for a Sunday afternoon, one Sunday afternoon special showing or something.
And also good for people in not metropolitan areas, who live in small towns and stuff. There's more access to
just
variety than they'd be
standard to. Access, because your family probably already has the account. So it's not an additional expense for everyone. It's you just get the content, and then someone else could be watching something else. So.
Exactly.
So next up we got YouTube. What type of content does YouTube have? What kind of content do you want? Because YouTube has anything except pornography. And the only reason it doesn't is because it's against its terms and conditions. So people try and they get rid of it. So there's 2 types of content. There's official content, which comes from the official companies. You can have has KBS World, where they put up the old drama specials. You have GMM-TV, which is a Thai channel that puts up a lot of their shows. Yo-Yo English, which is for Youku Dramas, which is a Japanese company. Tencent Video. There's a huge amount of stuff on there with official channels. There's also the music companies all put out their music videos if you're into K-pop. So that's all on YouTube. Things like KCON is on YouTube. So, and also on the other hand, there's the unofficial content from regular people. So you really love a show and you love a ship on this show and you really wish that there was a really emotive music video featuring those 2 people on the show. Oh boy, YouTube has you covered, because I guarantee there's someone on there who has made that exact thing that you are looking for. And if there hasn't, you can make it and upload it for free. So it's, It's pretty great. In addition, there is YouTube Premium, which does have YouTube-specific shows and documentaries and films. For example, we all love Top Management was a big one that we talked about. That was a web drama. They have a bunch of K-pop documentaries and stuff, and they're always getting more and more content on YouTube Premium. So it's pretty great. Now, for the languages, like what languages it's subtitled in, this is really video dependent. Sometimes there will be hard-coded subs, which means that the subs were uploaded on the video and can't be changed. And other times there will be no subs, and sometimes there will be certain languages of subs, depending on what the creators themselves or the uploaders have put on the videos. YouTube also does have its closed captioning system, which the computer identifies the language that is being spoken and then puts subtitles in that language, but it is often hilariously incorrect to just incredible levels of amusement. Good thing about YouTube that I think most people appreciate is that it is completely free. You can watch anything except for the YouTube Premium specific movies for free on YouTube, as long as you don't mind watching a couple ads. And it's free to upload your own stuff on there if you want to, which is, some people enjoy. But they also do have, as I said, the premium membership, which includes no ads on any videos, a YouTube Music membership, so you could sort of like, Spotify on YouTube, and as well as access to their premium content, which is $12 Canadian a month for one person, or you can have a family account for 18 Canadian a month, which has up to 5 people in one household who all can put their own, because YouTube's owned by Google, so you have a Google account which you sign in, so they can put 5 different Google accounts onto one premium service. As for the regions offered, anywhere in the world. YouTube is anywhere except in certain places where the government has blocked it, like I believe China, North Korea, and Syria and Iran are the places. However, it seems pretty easy to get around those government restrictions because there are plenty of Chinese creators who have channels and upload videos, and Syrian creators who upload about what's going on there. So it's got everything.
And there's a lot of Chinese like companies that have official
channels,
YouTube channels.
So I feel like it's not rigorously enforced, this ban on YouTube. Like it is, but people get around it pretty easily. As for watch platforms, basically any watch platform at this point can run YouTube. You can watch it on your computer. You can watch it on any of your phones. It's on the Roku. It's on the Apple TV. You can cast it. It's on Android TV, Amazon Fire Sticks. It's on Xbox. Like, you can watch it on your Nintendo Switch. Like, you can watch it on your DS. Like, you can watch YouTube wherever you want to watch YouTube. They really make it quite easy. As for the technical side, you can download content to watch offline. You can choose your quality, like your video quality, while you're watching it. You can also make custom playlists of videos that you want to watch in certain orders that you want to watch them, as well as access other people's custom playlists, which is really nice for these official companies that will put out their shows. And usually, like, if we're talking like for, let's say, Thai shows, they'll put them out in like 10-minute chunks. So they'll be like part 1 of 4, part 2 of 4. And when they put it in a playlist, it'll just play all in order for you. And unlike Netflix does not ask if you're still watching when you've been watching for a worrying amount of time. It's just like, it's okay.
YouTube doesn't judge.
Keep going. As for random info, you can make screenshots. Screenshots are A-okay on Netflix, not on Netflix, on YouTube. They're great. Some official YouTube channels, we got KBS World, we got Playlist Global, GMM TV, Yo-Yo English, which is from Youku, Tencent, WeTV, MGTV, Youku, which is another version of Yo-Yo TV, Korean classic films, as we mentioned before, and Serial TV are some of the big ones where you can watch like officially subbed content. As for our final frequently used site, we've got iQIYI, which is spelled iQIYI, if you're wondering. It is mostly Chinese and Korean dramas, as well as animated shows. Not anime, like from Japan, but just animated Chinese shows primarily. It also has documentaries, movies, variety shows, mostly Chinese variety shows, and children's shows, which is interesting. It offers English, Korean, Thai, Malaysian, Indonesian, Vietnamese, Spanish, and Arabic subtitles, which I think is pretty, like, it's a pretty good level, right? It's, as for the price, it's $8 Canadian. They do have like a few things that you can watch for free. So the problem with iQIYI, if you're watching for free, is that they'll like tantalize you in with a few episodes, okay? They'll be like, you can watch episodes 1 to 3. And then suddenly it's like, but no more. And then eventually, maybe like 2 months later, it'll be like, okay, now you can watch none of them for free. We've changed our mind. Or now you can watch all of them for free.
Consistency is not their strong suit.
No, it is what it is. You know, it's the sort of thing that these, you know, it happens. But if you want to pay, it has $8 Canadian, which allows for 2 screens and 1080p, and you can download your videos to watch offline on the app, which is pretty great. And then there's $11 for all the same, but you can watch 4 screens at the same time. So similar to how like Netflix has theirs set up. Regions offered. It is offered globally, anywhere in the world except Taiwan. The reason for this is it is a Chinese-owned company, and China and Taiwan do not do business with each other. So no, none of that. So everywhere but Taiwan, you can watch. Like iQIYI has absolutely no regions blocked except Taiwan. They have phone apps, the desktop, Chromecast, Android TV, and Apple TV. There is currently no Roku app for it, but perhaps in the future. And also, I thought this was a kind of, well, you can take screenshots, which is, I double checked. I was like, ooh, gotta check. Can my phone take the old screen of shataroonies? It can. It also has, for VIP members only, Dolby Digital surround sound, which you can turn on and off even on your phone. It'll like up the quality of your sound. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's getting a lot, it's mostly Chinese stuff right now, but it has been getting a lot of Korean content. I think they're going for more of the newer shows that are coming out.
Yeah, they've been pushing for producing a lot of their stuff and taking that stuff, but it usually ends up that, like, I guess in my head, my theory is that Viki and iQIYI are on a constant battle bus. I
think they are, because it's like, you know, you've got the Chinese company, you've got the Japanese company, there's history there. Well, you know.
Also, it's just that like if you don't find what you want on iQIYI is the only way I'm gonna say it. If it's not there, that means that they've taken all the international to you rights, and like North America's has probably got Viki. Yeah. And they also are doing stuff where like they're negotiating getting the like delayed dramas and that sort of thing. So
yeah.
They're not best buds.
No, I think that iQIYI has a very smart marketing and acquisition team for what they're up to. I think that I personally think that if Viki was smart, they would focus on broadening their Japanese Japanese base, because that's the only one that's not really available on as like Japanese content is what's not available. Japanese drama content, anime, different ball game, but Japanese drama content is what's not available as widely as the other countries that you can find. So
if only there were a Japanese streaming site. Wait. Rakuten, that's a Japanese company.
Wait, huh? It seems as though Viki might be owned by a Japanese.
Weird.
Curious. So those
just
are
too
like
easy.
Those are
like and instead they just keep like getting more and more content that's available on every single other streaming site. Like so many of these streaming sites will be like, you know, this Chinese drama is only available here. And I'm like, really? Because I just saw 6 different streaming sites tell me theirs is the only place I can watch this.
It's like,
You're
is this
all
really
showing it.
a Viki exclusive? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Spend less money on C-dramas that everybody is showing that are free on YouTube.
No, what I think
put that money
what
into
sort of,
J-dramas
like,
for us.
what sort of got me is I wanted to watch the drama Word of Honor. Word of Honor is available on everything.
Everywhere.
It is on Netflix. It is on YouTube. It is on Viki. It is on WETV. Everywhere I go, it's like, you watch Word of Honor yet? I'm like, I'm trying. Jeez. So now we're going with still specific to Asian dramas, but maybe slightly less well known or well used, or slightly, more thematically specific. We have some more information on some of those that you may not have heard of. So
yeah, and we're not going to go very detailed into.
No. These are just
we'll have like the information on like a written platform, but like just a gloss
this is
over on these.
a quick little.
WeTV, we've already talked about it a little bit. It's a newer one, smaller. It's one that, well, we all were watching Manner of Death on it. Again, it's one of those sites that plays a little fast and loose with its VIP versus not VIP, and now it is and now it's not, and you can watch it for free, but no, not today, but maybe next week. And so like Manner of Death was free but delayed, and if you had VIP then you could watch it the week it came out, and then suddenly like episode 10 came out and they region blocked it for everybody.
That's a very late. That's a late.
It was really weird. And now going back to have a look, it's all completely unlocked again.
You can all watch it. Yeah.
So Manner of Death back on the menu if you so desire. There is a VIP membership that you can buy. It is $6 a month or $55 a year, Canadian anyway. I signed up for a base membership, or like, just signed into the website using my Google Play account, like my Google ID or whatever. And then I could pay with Google Play. Mm-hmm. So I didn't need to like jump through any, I needed Chinese phone number shenanigans. So, yeah, it's got its availability for languages, English, Thai, Chinese, Indonesian, I think Aramaic, but I don't read Aramaic, so it looked like Aramaic to me, but I could be wrong. Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, Spanish.
Wow.
You can sign in with Facebook or Google or whatever. A lot of these have like, if you can sign in through your SNS if you're in China, but I don't have a Chinese phone number, so I don't go that route. The content availability, there's a variety. Like it tends to be, I would say mostly Chinese, but also a fair bit of Thai. There's some Filipino stuff on there. It says Japanese, but I didn't really see any, but I wasn't searching super hard. So probably
I think it also
there's
depends
a little
on which country you're in. It's one that has a wild difference between different countries.
Yeah. It does have variety shows and dramas and some movies. I just downloaded a Filipino one the other day. Some animated stuff. Your streaming varies. You can watch it in 144p up to 1080p and everything in between, depending on what you like. It has playback speed option, which I kind of like sometimes to speed her up if it's, a draggy kind of show. It's available not on Roku, but like tablets and web browsers and phones and whatnot. And one of the things that I did like on it, a couple of the fun options on it. One, you can download even if you don't have a paid membership. So that's nice. Like I said, got a Filipino movie about witches downloaded right now. You can screenshot. So that's, again, if that's important to you, it's an availability. And in your settings, you can click a little button which is very important. C-drama watchers will know. You click this little button and it will skip all those opening credits and ending credits that tell you what the entire show is in those first 2 minutes.
if you've ever seen a C-drama, the opening and the ending credits will tell you everything that happens in that show.
Everything,
So you
the
better
entire show.
skip. You better be willing to fast forward through those.
Yeah, so if you don't care and you want to watch, more power to you. But for those of us who don't like that, that's a nice option to have. The quality of what's available is, like there's a lot there. There's fair variety, but it's not sort of cornering the market in anything really. Like there's going to be a few dramas that are specific to the WeTV platform and you can't watch anywhere else. But like I said, a lot of the stuff that says WeTV only, I'm like, I watched Hello Mr. Goo on YouTube. It's also on Viki. It's also on like Mango and WeTV. And so all of these sites all say it's an exclusive one for their site. So I don't know what exclusive means anymore. The word has lost all meaning. And as I mentioned, Mango TV, that's another one of these subscription services, sort of a smaller one. It's another one that when I first checked it out, I was not impressed. I didn't like the quality. It was very hard to find subs. It was very hard to figure out what's subbed and what's not. They have really upped their game in the last few months. So went to check it out again for this. They now have a sub channel within the app. So not on the web browser. You have to, on the web browser, you have to search the title of the show you want with the words subbed content or subtitled in it, and then it'll bring it up. But on the app, there's a separate sub channel, and you can be guaranteed if you click on that, everything listed is going to have subtitles. They sub in a variety of languages like Malaysian and Indonesian, and there was Japanese and Vietnamese and English and Thai, and you can again log in with like your Google account or whatever. You can pay with your Google Pay. You can watch all kinds of stuff for free. The VIP is like $2 a month or like $40 a year. Like, yeah. And it was, I think it was this one. Shoot, I wrote it down. It was either this one or WeTV, and they offer you like one of those sort of, it's like $2 a month. Yeah, it was this one, $2 a month for Mango TV. But for your first 3 months, it's only 99 cents.
Nice.
So, you know, it's a pretty good deal. Pretty nice. What does VIP give you? No commercials and downloads. You can download if you've got VIP. But pretty much everything's available. Like there's a few things content wise, but they do that thing that Viki used to do where it's like they release the stuff later. So if you're VIP, you can watch it right now. If you don't care and you don't mind, like I think one of the dramas I was looking at was currently airing up until like last week. And you can watch up to like episode 36 of 40 right now. So
wow,
you got to wait like a week or something. So it's not a big deal on what you wait for. It also has the skip title and end credit option, which I love. Lots of playback options in speed, like 480 through 720 available. And then there's if you're VIP, you can watch like the Blu-ray quality or something they call it. Subs in tons of languages.
You can make GIFs in the app.
Yes, that was like the wildest thing that I found. I'm like, everybody else is like blocking you. And no screenshotting here. Literally in the app, they have a screenshot button and a GIF button. They're like, no, please do. We would like, and
literally free advertisement for this show.
So if you click that screenshot button, it'll take a screenshot and then it'll pop it up onto your screen. Is this a screenshot you want? Yes, it is. You can either just save it to your phone, or across the bottom is the option to connect it and tweet it and share it on Facebook and Instagram it and whatever you want to do with that screenshot. And then it will automatically, connect it to your Twitter and tweet it. I think there was an option that you could have it set up that it would delete the screenshot once you had used it if you wanted to have that option. So if you didn't want to have a ton of them saved on your phone, you just wanted to share them all on Twitter, that's an option you have. It does the same thing with the GIF feature. You click on that little GIF feature and then you decide whether you want, 2 seconds or 10 seconds and anything in between, and then save it to your phone or send it off into the internet. So yeah, Mango TV, props to you. I'm impressed. The one thing I have found a little annoying with Mango TV is that I need to constantly click for the English subs. So there's it doesn't know that I always want the English subs. The player doesn't keep that information. So if I'm watching a 40 episode drama, for each episode, I'm going to have to go in and choose English subtitles. So, but it's a small price to pay for the price that I'm not actually paying to watch these free shows. So
it's a small price to pay for free.
Yeah, I'm not unhappy about it. Kind of like Kocowa having all of the KBS stuff. They've got all the Mango stuff. So some of their stuff is available elsewhere, like YouTube and stuff, but a lot of the stuff that doesn't show up anywhere else is there. So
very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
So On Demand China, as a preface, it is a part of it's called ODK Media. It's a part of the On Demand Korea parent company. It's set up very, very much like On Demand Korea. It's pretty much it's built for Chinese speaking watchers to be able to watch that broadcasting. It's only available in North America right now, very limited, but they have a very small handful of English subtitled stuff. And just like On Demand Korea, you just really have to go. You can't use the search bar to find that. The only way I ran across it even is I was looking for a very specific show that was literally nowhere else. And I found it and it happened to have English subtitles. But they do have some. And they have Chinese, Taiwanese, very, very few Korean, but some new Korean ones, and very few Japanese. And the Japanese ones did look older, and none of the Japanese had English subtitles or anything on it. So that's the stuff that it has. So for me, it's not a hugely viable thing for needing English subtitles and that, but every once in a while, they might have something unique to find. So I was looking for a Taiwanese show. It was the only place that I could find it with English subtitles. I went and I read about On Demand China, and they are looking to expand. So it is possible that in the future, this will be there might be more English subtitles in the future, but they started in 2018. They haven't been around all that long. So the next one is View. It's an Asian company, and it exists pretty much for the Asian audience. 16 markets, but not just Asia, but because South Africa also, for some reason, you have pretty much a lot of the Asian countries and South Africa. I asked my buddy Jane, her mom has a View membership because that is where she watches Penthouse. That is the only thing that's pretty much keeping her on View. But View has a very good, if you're in the Asian countries, there's a big variety. They have like Malaysian dramas and South African dramas. So pretty much the markets that they cater to, they also carry that content. And that's pretty cool. You can have free ad supported, or you can do the premium. So get rid of the ads essentially. And Jane said that the ads, they're pretty bad as far as every 10 minutes you get ads. She's like, it's noticeably worse than YouTube. Like it's lots of ads.
Viki's like that too. It's horrible.
And they do have some View original content, and they are the #1 streamer from Asia. So like they're very proud of that. And they very much corner the market for those countries. To where Jane used to pretty much watch View. She's only now starting to finally look at Netflix. View had enough for her for quite some time. So the only reason she was looking at Netflix is she was interested in some anime. So Netflix was the one to carry that. But for a lot of things, now she did say she really wants J-dramas. They do have some J-dramas. They're the older ones. They're not the new stuff, which is what she would want. So thank you, Jane, for all of your help with that.
Oh, Jane.
Thanks, Jane.
Real mensch. A real mensch, man. We love you, Jane.
Hearts, finger hearts. On-Demand Korea, we started talking about that. It is, as Sky said, it is a platform that was solely built for Koreans who were living in North America. So it is heavily focused on those whose first language is Korean or only language is Korean. So you have options on the site to view it entirely in Korean, like login and everything. And it only became a option for international audiences when Dramafever died. Literally within like a week of Dramafever dying, On-Demand Korea was like, hey, what's up? So originally, like, it had a couple of offerings, but for the most part, their entire catalog was just raw uploaded Korean, and maybe later they would add Korean subtitles. Since then they've added English subtitles, and it was for a while, a brief moment when they first like came into the scene because of, you know, the demise of Dramafever. It was kind of the option for the OCNs and the TVNs. However, within this past year or two, that's changed. So it's not really the only place for it, but it does have some dramas airing that other places won't have. They have reality shows, documentaries, kids shows, live sports, live news. They even have their own streaming device. It's called the what's it called? ODK box, and it's essentially like a Roku, where you don't have a phone or a computer to watch everything that's on their site. So really, it's catered and for Koreans, and it gives them kind of like what they would have as their normal channels, and that sort of thing. It does, however, have a partnership with Kocowa. It's not very big, but it does mean that Kocowa offerings on the site are only included in one of their membership levels. They do have a free membership level with ads, but you're limited on what you can watch because there's a lot of stuff that's only for the premium and up, and then it greatly reduces the amount of movies that you have access to. And then they do have the premium, which also adds available to Chromecast and some of the other apps. Some of that's locked within the free. Then you get more access to like all their content. They do rentals as well for their movies, and they used to do the 99-cent model that Kocowa does. Now they don't, but they do still do the Kocowa 24-hour taste model. Their model used to be straight up exactly like Kocowa's. So, but yeah, so you can get it on a bunch of different platforms too once you actually have to pay for it. Yeah, and it's really kind of the best place if you have a Korean living in your household that like may have like limited English and you still want to watch stuff. You both can enjoy the site together. I think that's like would be the biggest draw for this, if you like were living with a mother or grandparent or something like that, that you both could find stuff in your native language, but it's just not as extensive on the English stuff. But man, if they did, all their like variety show stuff that they get,
they get a lot.
They get everything. And I will say that if you are like me, who they love so much that they'd watch like stuff non-subtitled, it's the best place to find it. So when like Jungmin and Youngsang and Hugh Jung were all doing kind of like the variety show things like a year or two ago, I was only able to find the raw content of their variety shows on there. So it was nice to like be able to at least watch and like figure out kind of what was going on, or like, you know, them doing a performance, a little snippet of the song or whatever. So that was like the best thing for
a legal site, because other than that you won't find it.
I mean, like, it's huge. They even have like home shopping and stuff. It is literally straight up just it's like a TV. So I'm gonna briefly talk about Asian Crush, because Asian Crush used to be a platform that I just assumed may not be a legal site. However, it kind of proving to be a legal site, and it's also one of my up and coming favorites of the newer stuff with which is getting more content. They don't have many dramas, but they do have a lot of movies. If you've ever been searching for a movie trailer or something on YouTube, chances are you've seen Asian Crush's upload of 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
This is who I'm talking about. They have kind of one of the best, I guess Amazon technically has the best in movies, but like Asian Crush has the best in like horror movies, but like you can also find some documentaries. They have anime, and they're actively like looking for retro anime. That's one of their like kind of ends. It is another place where you can watch it free with ads. They have an app on Roku. They have like most of like the places like Amazon Fire, Apple TV, you can get apps, and you can use those apps even with the freebie. It's just, I've noticed more ads when it's on the app than it is on website. It is still in beta. The site can be a little chunky and kind of stop and time out a lot. It's not terrible, but it's mostly if you're like really trying to search a lot, it just doesn't like that. Yeah. But they do have a monthly option that's $4.99 USD, and then an annual that's $50 USD. So if that's something like it's like something that you want to look into, it's definitely only in North America, and it only has English. There's no other like subtitles, but it is a small site, small company. But what I will say, it is very inclusive on LGBTQ content, and I'm saying LGBTQ. I think a lot of places right now have like decided to do stuff, but they're only doing BL, and this is not the case with Asian Crush. They exclusively talk about all, so you're gonna get a variety of that. They even have like they do like Kocowa, where they kind of like give you the playlist, or like Netflix does too, where they like, these are some of the picks. They have like a pick of movies, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, anime, and I do think they're gonna expand more, because when you search like parameters in the site, it comes up with like Mongolian and Taiwanese and stuff. They don't have anything on there, but like it's they're encoded already, so I think that like that just indicates that that's one of their goals. So it's definitely one of the newer stuff, and it kind of maybe possibly looks sketchy, but it's not, and it's just a smaller place, and I think that they're just kind of quietly trying to get things. Love Affairs in the Afternoon is on there, that like I was like surprised to see, because I had watched that J-drama, the first like 2 or 3 episodes like years ago, it was probably on Dramafever, and then lost it, and then like I was like, oh man, I kind of want to finish that. Well, I can now because it's there. So if you're looking for movies, it's your best bet. However, they do have other things.
Line TV is a Japanese company that is popular in Thailand. So all of its content is primarily Thai television shows and variety shows. And it was just in the past year that the app opened up internationally to Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Colombia, Hong Kong, India, Korea, Laos, Malaysia, Mexico, Myanmar, Peru, the Philippines, Russia, Singapore, Thailand, again, they were already in Thailand, the US, and Vietnam. It is subtitled in English, Korean, and Thai. However, most of the shows you can only reliably find English subtitles on. So there will occasionally be Korean and Thai, but it's primarily English subtitles. There is no paid option on the Line TV app. It is only watch with ads. So they'll play it as like I said, many of the Thai shows, they'll cut them up into chunks. So it'll be like part 1 of 4. And before each episode, there will for each chunk, there will be an ad. So there is, at the moment, no paid option for that. It is available on iOS and Android, desktop, Chromecast, and Android TV at the moment. And you can watch quality, like the quality in the app can go up to 2160p, which is like super high HD, and you can change the watch screen and take screenshots. So It's pretty good if you like Thai television. So that's basically what it has. And finally, we have a relatively newer one called Gagaoolala, which is rather interesting. It's a Taiwanese service, which means it's available anywhere except for China and North Korea. That is specifically only LGBTQ content. And not only is it only LGBTQ content, they have a sub-service called GOL Studios, where LGBT filmmakers can submit their work to be on the platform, as well as connect with other LGBTQ filmmakers to collaborate with each other on. It's primarily Asian content, but I have seen some things from like Poland, South America. So basically it's worldwide, but primarily, since it started in Taiwan, it's primarily Asian content at the moment. It has a limited free catalog, so they'll have like a free section. You can watch anything you want in the free section, and then you get access to the full catalog for $10.50 Canadian a month. It's available on iOS and desktop. Unfortunately, since it's a very small, very new service, I think like 8 months, like in the last 8 months, it does only go up to 720p. And there are no downloads available at the moment. They're only streaming. But they do some original content. Like they just came out with an original Taiwanese show about a gay couple who have a kid, but neither of them told their parents that they were married and adopted a child, so neither of the parents know that they're gay. So it's like a really interesting thing. And they have like a Thai show that just came out that they did there with a very sort of controversial director who has been speaking out against the BL industry. So it's a show about the horrors of the BL industry. Anyway, it's really interesting. They're very committed to like activism and LGBTQ spaces and stuff. So if that's what you're looking for, it is a good service to check out. And they have a bunch of cool stuff. Like they've got like a lot of like indie films and, you know, short web dramas, and like, so it's mostly more of like a indie vibe to it. And if you're wondering what the title means, I actually in my research found out that Gaga and Lala are Taiwanese slang terms for gay and lesbian. So it's in French, gay or lesbian, Gagaoolala. But, you know, they're inclusive of all gender identities and sexualities. Yeah, so those are like basically the other primary services. There are a few services that have very limited Asian dramas. So, for example, Hulu has a very limited drama catalog, most of which are also available on other services. So it's like, you're not going to be getting new, like original new content at the moment for Asian television series on Hulu.
I'll say about Hulu that, so like if you see a J drama that's being produced by Hulu, that's not going to show up on North American Hulu.
No, yeah. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. They also have a very limited Asian film catalog, and who knows? They might get more. We don't know. We don't know. But they do have like mostly North American stuff. So if you have a family who also wants to watch that, there's that, and that's $5 a month for watching with ads, which I always thought was kind of.
Well, yeah, I don't like the ads if you have to pay.
Yeah.
And it goes, and then the prices range from that to all the way up to $70 a month for live television with no ads. Yeah, so it goes like, you have like a huge range, as it were.
But it's good to know for people that already have Hulu through whatever service. It's like, oh, by the way, there is some Asian content.
Yeah, I'm talking, there's like 7 Asian dramas.
But they have a handful of movies too.
Yeah, they do have like things that are big things like Parasite and The Host and so like Hulu, if you haven't if you don't know Hulu, their actual prime thing is airing network shows in the US.
So it's pretty much only really available in the US for the one that we looked into. Like, it's not even available in Canada without a VPN, so very limited locale as well. Amazon Prime has some Asian films, a few Asian shows, but very limited. And they also have anime. So if you're into that, They do that. They do allow watch parties on Twitch, which is pretty fun, I have to admit. And other sort of watch parties with most of their shows. Content varies dramatically by region, and I find that the search parameters are a lot more difficult to find what you're looking for unless you already know that it's on the service. So they don't have like, there's not like an international section you can go to in their television or TV, and it's like I find, especially on the website, they really don't make it that easy to find the different categories. You have to scroll for a while. If you have Amazon Prime, you already have this, even if you didn't know that you had this. So it's bundled with it together. And it is available worldwide except for China, Iran, North Korea, and Syria. So that's pretty great. And it's $8 Canadian a month if you're in Canada. Finally, for another limited catalog for dramas, we have Crunchyroll. Oh, Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll's aim is anime. So Japanese animated shows and films. But they do have a few Japanese live action dramas on there. Not very many, but a few. They have a phone app. It's available on desktop, Chromecast, Roku, and other, AirPlay, that sort of thing for the television. It's available worldwide, but content does vary by region. I saw like a breakdown where it was like the US has the most content, and then it's like Canada, then it's like Britain, then it's Mexico. And it's like the numbers filter down and down until it's like, it goes from like 800 shows in the States to like 200 and some in wherever the last one was. So there's a big variety, but mostly anime. So they have a limited free catalog, so you can watch a few episodes of some shows for free. And then full access to all of their stuff is $8 a month. And that's Crunchyroll if you want some of that sweet anime goodness. And they got lots of anime. Like
they're like the number one source for subtitled and
like
dubbed anime.
I used to go to an anime convention back when conventions were a thing in Montreal, and it was literally sponsored by Crunchyroll. Like, Crunchyroll was there being like, come to our anime viewing rooms, friends. So next we have some sites that don't have much now, but maybe getting some in the future, and I believe Amanda...
They don't have much
quickly
or anything, but yeah, hitting the news a little while ago, really big, was that Apple TV Plus had the rights to the extremely popular book Pachinko, and they snagged Lee Min-ho to star in this drama. So I believe it's supposed to come out sometime next year, I believe. Maybe later this year, but they don't really have much in, like, Apple TV is a platform that you can stream all these other channels we've been talking about on, and then they have like their plus section where they have some original content and stuff. There's not really much going on there Asian content wise right now, but like I said, this Pachinko is going to come out, so that might be the start of some big things. And if you already have Apple TV Plus, then cool. And you might not know this, but if you've bought an Apple product, you do have it. So you should go check it out. Play with it. Apparently you get it for free for a year when you buy an Apple product. Check it out or don't. I wouldn't go there for Asian content. Not yet anyway. Maybe.
No, but I know there's also
someday.
Like another drama coming out that's exclusive to them. So
yeah,
I don't think they're going to slow down.
No, yeah, kind of like Netflix sort of tipped their toes in and then jumped all the way in. It seems like some of these other places are doing that same thing. Disney Plus, again, similarly, we got recent news over the last few months that they're going to be producing a K-drama called Our Police Course, about police trainees. Kang Daniel is set to star in it. When I looked it up on my drama list, it's listed as one episode. So it might not actually be a drama as much as like a made-for-TV movie type situation. But again, it seems like the kind of thing that they're maybe testing the waters and see where they go from there. I mean, again, I wouldn't get Disney Plus for Asian content. That's not what you're going to get
Yet.
there. But
Not yet.
Not yet. But if you're like me and you've got kids and a family and, you know, we're watching it for other stuff. So I will enjoy the K-drama bonus when it starts landing. So, and then TV Ing, which is looking to get into more streaming and things. And JTBC is its second largest shareholder right now. So if you're into the JTBC dramas, this is something to keep your eye on, because it's not its own website yet or its own streaming platform, but there's speculation that that is the direction it could head in because of JTBC being this shareholder, that they might look at doing their own thing or something. So
keep the old peepers open, because you never know what might suddenly slide in with the K-dramas.
I think a common question is the Viki Kocowa question. We really already covered that. So it pretty much just is like what you're wanting to watch, as we explained earlier.
But it really is a personal choice, honestly, and monetary choice.
But just the main thing is know that Kocowa exists. As far as if you're really wanting that variety content or the Kocowa content, at least take it into consideration when you're looking at that Viki Plus pass. Just know that you're not usually getting the Kocowa subtitles. You need to at least look at both sides of it to see what you're really wanting to pay for.
Yeah, and I think a major thing to also keep in mind is the availability of, subs being there on time. Like, Viki, it does have an extreme problem with that.
Yeah.
And we're not saying this is the fault of the, free forced labor that, is happening. Yeah. It is solely on Viki's fault, to be figuring out what to do. But you're pretty much guaranteed. I was watching Sell Your Haunted House on Kocowa, and I'd be able to watch it subbed pretty immediately when it aired, and I could guarantee that Viki would not be an option for hours or days later. And so I think that's one of the major things that we can pinpoint as a con that may be a deciding factor for some people, but it's hard to tell you exactly if you should do Kocowa or Viki, because they're so personal, and there's just a lot of parameters that you need to specifically figure out.
I mean, we mostly recommend going and looking at the different catalogs yourself and seeing what you're really interested in. Maybe trying some of it out free, the free side. If you're really wanting to pull subscription on one, try free for a bit, see what you dig. Yeah. That's really the best way to do it.
Most of these paid services do have trial periods, so you can try them out and see which one that you like the best. But make sure to, if you don't like it, remember to cancel before it starts charging.
Yeah, and we talked about it earlier, but they all have codes for freebie off. I mean, just this past week, On Demand Korea had a percentage off on their sale. So if you're looking at stuff, look for those freebie things, look for the sales. Just one note on Demand Korea, because that's also part of the Kocowa acquisition. I don't think it should be a contender in between if you're picking Viki or Kocowa. You will see that they are tied together. There is a way to sign into On Demand Korea on Kocowa, and you see the Kocowa part on Demand Korea, but that's just out of the main thing we always hear. Everybody's which one should I get, Viki or Kocowa? And it honestly really depends. And we'll have all the information for you, and maybe just really look at it, especially if it's in one central spot, looking at it. For me personally, they both work, but I also am on this podcast every week, so I watch and consume and have to be on top of Asian content a lot more drastically than the average consumer.
Yeah. So as a final note before we end this, we would like to give a dearly departed to a service.
Pour one out
for a service that was superior to all of these in terms of quality of offerings and size of catalog and availability of subs, and
our first forays into like really deep diving
Yeah.
into this Asian entertainment life.
And that was Dramafever. Rip Dramafever. We miss you every day. The world isn't the same without you. And you were taken far too soon.
How long did you guys use Dramafever before it poofed?
For
Multiple years.
like
Multiple
2 or 3
years.
years.
Yeah.
When did it die?
October of 2018.
2018.
Our first
Right.
episode.
Our first episode.
Yeah.
It died like the day before we
Right.
recorded
I
our
think
first episode.
So it was about 2 years, 2.5 years that I used it.
Yeah.
I think about 3 to 4 years for me. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember like, you know, the fun things were like you could like watch Dramafever on the app and like it would just like not pick up or like the ads. Like so I was watching free without ads on the app.
I know.
Or like the 99 cent a month
I had that one. I had the
I had
99
that.
cent
It
a
was
month
so
subscription.
good.
That was
And
like
then when they put up the
fewer,
price-
right? Like
Oh,
fewer
God.
ads. But then
And then
it
when
just
they
was like,
put up-
I don't know, whatever, no
and then
ads.
when they put up the price, they just grandfathered everyone in, so we were still paying
like,
99 cents.
if
As
I
long
only
as you
pay
keep
one
paying
bill.
your 99 cents, you're gonna get your
Yeah.
I was like, yes,
Oh.
resubscribe.
I still
When
had
it died, I
J-dramas
think I
that I
got
was gonna watch.
54 cents back or something.
And like the
That's what it was.
website was so cute and user friendly,
Yes.
and like they you know how like Viki has like the, you know, like the about the, like you can click on their name and it'll tell you all about it. Was like that but way better. Like that you can find out so much about these actors or these shows. They told you everything you needed to know. Oh,
Like just people, maybe like all you newbie people who would be actually here for this last part. I think like if you know dramas, you're not watching this or listening to this episode. But I can't describe to you how terrible that actually was for us.
it
Because
was
like
traumatic.
we could be like, you know, you could be like, oh no, you're just being facetious about this. It was like
No.
literally Dramafever was doing fine. It had dropped 2 J-dramas like within that past week.
Yeah.
Everything looked
It
fine.
had currently airing shows.
Currently airing shows,
that
so like
were,
100
like,
Days My
halfway
Prince
done.
and Beauty Inside were like
Yeah.
airing at that current
They were like
point.
on episode like 9 or something. Like, and then suddenly
then-
it was just
over the
gone.
weekend. No, it was like literally like it was like a Friday or something. You kept on seeing a little like notifications on the show page, and they were like, we're behind and we're trying to catch up or something along those lines.
Yeah, it was something like, you know, due to technical difficulties,
Yeah.
these episodes won't be
so
available.
the new
yet.
episodes weren't available, and we're like, okay. And then it got into the week, and we're like,
Okay.
what's
Yeah.
going on? And then like it was like
it was
done.
literally a black screen that was like,
Yeah.
we're closed.
Drama
Yeah.
fever
You
done.
won't-
And
We will refund you your money. Goodbye. And we were all like, what? No.
and later it came out, like, we found it, like, the people working at Dramafever had no
Didn't
idea.
know.
Like, they
Yeah.
were putting up those technical difficulties because that's what they thought it was.
They were in the
because
same predicament we were.
They
Like
had
nobody
no idea.
knew.
It was like, suddenly midweek, they had no jobs. Like, they were all laid off. And
It was
like,
wild. It was a wild ride.
insane. Like,
And if you want to know all about that, you can actually go listen to our first ever podcast, which is about this. So way on back in the days. Yeah, pour one out for the homie. F in chat for
Right?
Drama
Yeah.
Fever. So anyway, thank you for listening to this long, informative info dump about all things streaming services for Asian dramas. We will have infographics about these services up on the website that you can download and check out to like have, you know, bullet points of everything that we talked about. Just sort of a breakdown to make things easier if you're still not quite sure what you want to pick. And we just, you know, we think that the fact that you're even looking for what services to watch for Asian entertainment is great. And we're welcome to the family. Or if you're already in the family and just weren't aware of all the different services, well, welcome to now an extended family of potential options for you to watch. Anyway, thank you for listening. We are on every place that podcasts can be found, but if you want all the links to everything and all of these downloads that we're talking about, you got to go to certifiednoonas.com, our website. If you want to support this podcast and this deep research and work that we're doing for the world, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas and become part of our Certified Found family, where we do lots of fun stuff like movie nights, and we put up extra stuff that gets cut out of the episode and other things. So it's a good time. And we love all of our supporters over there in the Found family. You're all the best. Drink some water, stay hydrated, summertime, or where a lot of people who listen to us are. And if it's not, we see you, Australia. Drink water anyway. You still need it in winter. Anyway, have a fantastic week and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.